Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brian here at Classic G-Body Garage, and today I'm not working on a G-Body. This here behind me is my 2001 Pontiac Grand Am GT. These cars are considered N-bodies, and this particular car here behind me has a problem with the starter. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the starter and show you how to do it. Alright guys, so I figure I'd do a little video on my daily driver. Now this is the car that I drive other than my 97 Cavalier daily, also in the winter, to keep the G-bodies out of the winter and the salt. So this car here behind me has a problem with the starter, especially when it gets cold. It makes a lot of noise. So what I'm going to do is pull the starter out of this car, see if I can find another one. And you know what? You don't have to buy a new starter. You can go to a junkyard such as Pull Apart and find exactly what you need. So this car behind me has a 3400 V6. This V6 is found in many other General Motors vehicles. So the procedure in this starter removal is going to be the same as the following vehicles that use the 3400. It is going to be the Chevy Lumina APV Minivan, the Chevy Venture Minivan, the Chevy Impala, the Monte Carlo, the Olds Silhouette Minivan, the Oldsmobile Alero, the Pontiac Transport Minivan, the Grand Am, of course, the Pontiac Aztek, and finally the Buick Rendezvous. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, with the battery disconnected, I went ahead and jacked up the vehicle and secured it on the subframe with jack stands. Do not work underneath the vehicle with it held up just by the jack itself. Safety first, people. All right, now the starter motor is located on the front of the engine. Very easy to get to on this particular vehicle, and if you have any other difficulties getting to it, like any plastic shrouds or plastic covers in the way, there is a small plastic cover that I'm going to go ahead and remove on this Pontiac Grand Am GT, which will give me a little bit more access to get to the bolts that hold the starter in. Now there is also a mini plastic inspection cover, which is that right there. It's a skinny little plastic inspection cover, and it is held on with a 10mm bolt right here. That's the cover itself, and then also on the side, on the front part of the starter, which is that 10mm bolt right there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those two and remove that little plastic shield. All right, I went ahead and removed the little plastic inspection cover, held on with two 10mm bolts, and also a plastic filler that goes on the front underneath the core support, and now I have plenty of room to get the starter out. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove the power wire right here that powers up the solenoid, which is an 8mm nut right there, and then the battery terminal, which is a 13mm nut right there. Alright, I have all of the wires disconnected, so I'm going to go ahead and push those up out of the way. Of course, make sure you do have your battery disconnected, or you're going to make all sorts of fireworks underneath here. So the starter bolts are the next bolts to remove. You can have a bolt right there, and then one on the other side of the starter right there. They are both 15mm. This one is easy to get to with a socket and an extension. This one is a little bit more difficult to get to, so you're going to need to get yourself a universal to get to that. So let me go ahead and remove both of those bolts right now, and the starter should come out. Alright, both starter bolts are out. You can see one is long and one is short, and the starter is just sitting up in here. Alright, so let me just go ahead and grab a hold of this little thing. There we go. Easy as that. That is what the starter looks like. It is out, and the reinstallation is just the reverse. Alright guys, well that is it. It's really not that difficult to do. There is plenty of room to get to the starter, so if you guys found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. And until the next Classic G-Body Garage video, keep those G-bodies rolling, as well as those daily drivers.